I will never forgive Jehovah's Witnesses for this. Do all the trash talking to me as an individual, but because they did this to my mother, I will never forgive them for it. When I was 11 years of age, my mother was involved in a very, very bad accident. She had gotten first, second, and third degree burns. Her entire chin, chest, and right arm was burnt badly in a car accident. How does this connect with Jehovah's Witnesses? Well, see, prior to that accident, my mother, being the fun, outgoing person that she is, realized that the Kingdom Hall was boring. It was dull. Nobody was having any fun. So she decided to plan a trip to go on a cruise. She organized everything, collected the funds from everybody, and the night of the accident, my father went to put gas in the car so that she could go and pay for the trip. My mom was helping him to close the gates. This happened right in front of the house, our family house. And she signaled to my father and said, there's gas leaking in the car. And my father came out of the car. As soon as he came out, the car blew up, engulfed in flames. And because it was leaking gas, my mom turned around to run, but slid in the gas and fell, and the fire engulfed her. This is very hard for me to go over, so bear with me if I stop and pause from time to time trying to tell this. We were doing an addition on the back of the house, so my father grabbed my mom, who was engulfed in flames, and rolled her in the sand out in the flames. But she suffered first, second, and third degree burns. And trigger warning, I will show you pictures of, these are considered the more palatable pictures because it was very, 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 very bad. But what does this mean? People with less burns than that have died from the pain alone. And I know everybody's will say, oh, my mom's the strongest person I know. Please have a seat. My mom is the strongest person I know. She survived that. But the very next day, at the hospital, where my mother did not know if she would live or die, this brother showed up at the hospital to collect the money to go on the trip with the rest of the Jehovah's Witness members, the same trip that my mother organized. They went on the trip. And they would like to tell you that they show brotherly love. Brotherly love where? Where? This was a member of their religion who would have been considered spiritually strong. And she went through a very bad accident. And instead of holding solidarity and say, you know what, maybe we can postpone this and do this another time. This sister needs our love and attention. No, they went on the trip. They went on the trip. They came to the hospital to collect the money and went on their trip. Of course, members of the liaison team came to the hospital to make sure my mother did not take any blood. Do you want to know the brotherly love that we experienced? Well, the circuit overseer was supposed to be visiting the congregation. They didn't tell him that my mother had gotten in an accident. And of course, if you're a Jehovah's Witness, you know the congregation wants to look good in front of the circuit overseer. It wasn't until he came to the Kingdom Hall and then heard what happened to her and then realized not one of the members had planned to organize or do anything or help with anything. Not one. I, at the time, had to go back to school, and I didn't even know if I was going to be able to go to school because my father was stressing out the entire family. My father, my brother, my mother, we were overwhelmed. And if it wasn't that they were trying to appease the circuit overseer and the circuit overseer's wife, it was his wife, actually, Miss Bailey. Thank you. If you see this, I don't hold it against you as an individual. But if it wasn't for his wife telling the sisters in the congregation, you buy her school shoes, you buy her school bag, you buy this, you buy that, they would have never done anything. This was 3 months in to the accident, and not one of them cared enough to say anything, to help with anything. They had to be told to help. They had to be told to show kindness. And don't anybody tell me, well, that's kindness in and of itself. No, it wasn't, because as soon as they did that and as soon as the overseer left was where that love ended. Not one of them give a damn after. They don't show love. They show conditional love. They don't know how to love. They have to be told to love. You want to see unconditional love? My brother. He wasn't a Jehovah's Witness. He was an unbaptized publisher. And at the hospital, my mother was not getting the right care because, well, she's a Jehovah's Witness and she doesn't want any blood and she's anemic and she needs blood. So in the doctor's eyes, they're like, oh, well, she don't want to live anyway. So why should we care? Yes, this is in Jamaica. But my brother, off the compound, found the doctor and threatened the lady and said, listen to me and listen to me good. If my mother dies, then you ... fill in the blanks. This is TikTok, I can't say it. The very next day, she started to treat my mother better. So shout outs to you, David. Thank you for helping our mom. Because if it was up to the Jehovah's Witnesses to help, no, the liaison team was there to help send her to an early grave. And before you Watchtower bots decide to comment forgiveness in the comment section, don't do it. Don't do it. I will only forgive those who want to be forgiven. Jehovah's Witnesses don't want to be forgiven of anything because, firstly, they don't think they've done anything that warrants forgiveness. They're very arrogant, pompous, and downright disgusting. But on a lighter note, just to show a little bit of my mom's personality, I love her. She has burns on her right hand. It should not have gotten any burns, but it did. You want to know how? My mom, being the gangster that she is, when being engulfed in those flames, smelling that her hair was being burnt, thinking she was gonna die, and maybe I got a little bit of that vainness in myself because of her. I don't know. I don't care. It's still good. Because she didn't want to look bad in her casket, this lady decided to flash away the hair from the front of her face so it don't get burnt because all the fire was right here. She was boxing away the hair. And that's how this hand got burnt on the back of it. My mother. I love you. I'm sorry they treated you so badly. You didn't deserve that. You didn't deserve that. But I love you dearly. Anyhow, this is my story that I want to share. From my lens, it happened to her, but it did affect me as well growing up. So if you see me constantly putting videos out exposing this religion for what it is, yes, I have an axe to grind. And I'm going to grind that heifer until it turns into ash. All the very best. You take care. Bye.